ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says branches must elect respected people into positions of power, especially ahead of the December National Conference. He has been addressing communities in Delmas in Mpumalanga as the party launches Letsema Campaign there. Now, this campaign seeks to place structures of the party at the forefront of service delivery and social inclusion leading to the 2024 general elections. The party has been battling with divisions and corruption allegations leading to a decline in voter support in recent years. Ramaphosa has once again called for unity amongst members. Joining us now for a perspective on the ANC leaders' priorities is political analyst Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Dr. Breakfast, good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dr. Breakfast, I mean, the president speaks about unity. This is a word that we have heard many a times, especially going into conference. Anything different this time around that you're seeing that may likely actually speak about an actual unity within the ANC?
When I think, the idea of Letsema, I think it's a noble idea, because one of the things that the ANC says that it takes pride in is that it is the leader of society. But sometimes you see a missing link between the material conditions of the people on the ground and what government does. So I think the thinking behind this initiative was to bridge that gap, because the ANC says that, its strength lies at branch level. But, branches of the ANC have been embroiled in, squabbles, fights, factionalism, and I'm sure those things have an impact on, the relationship between branches and government. So it's good that, people on the ground can interact with the president. I mean, under the circumstances of COVID-19, the plight of the working class got worse. Incidents of gender-based violence were reported a lot. The numbers of young people who are unemployed, they went up, and a whole range of other things. And the question has been that are ANC leaders keeping in touch with the plight of the poorest of the poor on the ground?
Well, there's always been that talk about a disconnect from the leadership to the people, Dr. Breakfast. But the question now remains, yes, we're seeing this Letsema. The president is on the ground, he's talking to the people, he's picking up papers, he's fixing this and that. But is it this just not simple electioneering? How does one guarantee coming out of this that there will be an actual renewal, but more than that, convince the people that there will be service delivery, not just election talk as we've seen in the past years?
No, of course, I think your question, Kwena, is not off the mark, given the fact that the ANC will be holding its upcoming conference. I mean, the president has a history of making commitments and not honoring them. So I guess, that's why you raised the question earlier on. So I think, people want to see, their lives being improved for the better, not in pursuit of, the democratic outcomes of the upcoming conference of the ANC. So we just hope that this is not about the conference that will be held just around the corner.
Is this about convincing the people? I mean, are the supporters, ordinary members of the ANC, ordinary members of the community, feeling this renewal that is being talked about?
Well, the president struck me when he was making his speech as someone who was over the moon with regard to the quality of engagement. Because they were saying that, no, but people did not only address the material conditions of the poorest of the poor on the ground, but they were talking about, issues of international relations. Why, for instance, South Africa has relations with the US as opposed to Russia. And he was, trying to clarify those issues and also other issues that are affecting young people, women, and children. So on the whole, he was impressed, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Are we likely going to see many of these projects happening in an effort to revitalize the party's fortunes leading into 2024? Because one would be like to believe that the key focus right now is 2024, is making sure that the ANC gets better numbers in the upcoming elections.
Well, one of the things that he stressed on that struck me was the issue of renewal, the renewal of the ANC, because I mean the ANC has been divided into two. So you are saying that this program is going to run throughout the length and the breadth of the country. But of course, I guess he's engaging on this also in pursuit of his agenda of a second term as well. Not only trying to hear the needs of the people on the ground. And of course, he did reflect on the fact that there have been some research findings that the ANC might fall short of getting 50%, saying that members of the ANC, they need to take it upon themselves to make sure that they disappoint those who have made that prediction that the ANC may not bounce back to power in 2024.
So for the rest of us as ordinary citizens, Dr. Breakfast, I mean, are we likely going to see an improvement in our lives? And the question always remains that the ANC is struggling and battling to fix itself. So how does it fix our lives if it's struggling to fix itself? I mean, there's many examples that one can give in that regard.
Well, whether we like it or not, I mean, sometimes as the public, we are affected by political battles of the ANC. A case in point is what had happened last year in terms of the social conflict that broke out in KZN and Johannesburg and so on. I mean, Parliament, I think, was set on fire, did not catch fire. And also someone tried to break in at the Constitutional Court. So the battles of the ANC are having a negative spillover effect to the entire country, and we are affected, even though some of those things have nothing to do with us. It's just issues of factional battles.
Now, Dr. Breakfast, I mean, speaking of factional battles, case in point, tomorrow it's expected that David Makhura will be recalled with Banyazali Sufi being seconded as the next premier of Gauteng. Does that also again speak to, I guess, the divisions, the factions that we are seeing? And what picture does that play in a situation where it is expected that a person like Makhura will be recalled? And we've seen it also happening in KwaZulu-Natal recently, and more expected to happen.
It looks like, these, ANC, PC elections are about factions entrenching their hegemony. When all is said and done, we saw what had happened in the Eastern Cape. The faction of Mabuyane won the elections, then they, I would say, purged. Other people never supported them. And then in KZN, we saw the same thing. And now we are about to see a similar phenomenon again. But the question is, these changes, what are they bringing to the people? Are they bringing a change for the better or a change for the worse?
All right, Dr. Breakfast, just one more from my side. I mean, speaking of the conference in December and the president speaking about electing credible leaders, is this the message that he's sending out there? This is a president who came in and promised us that he will fight corruption, embattled as he is right now with the Parliament. Is he sending the right messages to elect the right people that can take not only the ANC forward, but the country forward?
Well, I mean, as you said earlier on, he came into power on a ticket of good governance. But the question is, has he honored that, given the fact that he's facing serious allegations of corruption, kidnapping, and so on, and the fact that he fell short of, answering questions in Parliament with regard to what had happened. But I think he was trying to assure people that he's still equal to the task, despite the fact that some people feel like they've been let down by him.
Dr. Breakfast, thank you very much for coming through to talk to us this afternoon. I appreciate your time.